16th of July, Sunday, 2:24 in the afternoon in Australia. Just my latest video blog. Pretty much a short and sweet one. It is a Sunday. Just going to share a few thoughts and a little bit of an update on what is going to happen, what possibly could happen in the next 14 days. And I did a video, well, I think it was my last video. I did cover some language within the webbot, and it's all very vague. And I think at the moment it sort of feels like we're in the eye of the storm. Everything's still moving. I mean, the markets are still doing what they do. There's lots of ICOs. There's lots of positive talk in the media about Bitcoin integration. Things like ATMs, and lots of companies now taking on multiple cryptocurrencies, and governments are looking into implementing blockchain and the technology, whether it's their own or whatnot. There's lots of noise in this entire space. However, if you go and look at mainstream, you go and talk to your friends, go and have a look at the news, channel 10 news, you'll see there's not much in regards to cryptos at all, and that's because the powers to be aren't ready to allow those who are absorbed in that reality the key information, because it's funny how one of the things I've noticed when it comes to things like market collapses, or all the critical news, or the information you need before something happens, you'll never ever get it from the newspapers or the media or any of that type of stuff. And when you do, it's all very it's all too late. So you've got to go and dive in and talk to people who are in the industry to get the information, so you can be ahead of the game. And it's the old cliche: you want to be 1 or 2 years ahead, rather than 1 or 2 years behind, because you pretty much missed out on everything. So what I wanted to talk about was, and I'm just going to close my little back screen here, is a couple of things. Now, in regards to, it's the 16th of July, this hard fork stuff is sort of getting everyone on edge, and when you go and look into the Telegram groups and on the Slack forums, and there's a lot of common sense. So there's a lot of people talking about, it's going to blow over, don't worry about it, and I sort of feel that way. I can't see any logic behind Bitcoin forking. The mining pool that's responsible for a lot of these issues, which is in China, they're worried about how much money they're going to make with the implementation of SegWit and some other stuff that the community of Bitcoin is putting forward. Now, there's nothing in their interests to go and split Bitcoin from a profit point of view, because they're going to make even less money if they go and divide and split Bitcoin. So from I know it comes down to greed, and I think that's what this is all about. And I understand if you're running a business, you want to maintain your profit, and that's what mining is for a lot of these big warehouses that you see them in. I think there's one in Iceland, or there's quite a few in China. Massive warehouses with GPUs running and mining all sorts of different cryptos, and they're using that infrastructure to, well, I suppose, maintain their business. There's cloud mining as well. So these different people have a say in what's going on with the community, but there's a bit of confusion. So with the webbots predicting that the next 14 days leading up to August is pretty much going to improve. That's what the language, what I got. And in a lot of ways, when you look at the market, now I clicked on my little coin Gecko here. A lot of it, I've done a 30-day review. Some of them, like Veritasium's got its own, sort of gone horizontal, really. Ups and downs are fairly normal, but everything else has pretty much been on the slide. And it's been more than 30 days. It's been just over 30 days, about 45 days or so. But irrespective of the individual cryptos, because some of them have their own ecosystems and things like that. But as a general consensus across the board, the big money has definitely slowly dripped out, and whenever there's a downtrend, it does set off a domino effect. A lot of energy in the groups talking about downtrends, and then people tend to make decisions, and a lot of the time it's to pull out and move their money into a hedge of some sort, whether that's into actual cash, or they move it out of the whole system, or move it into Bitcoin or into another crypto, or because I was looking at LITECOIN, which was very interesting. I'm not going to, have I got access to it? There it is. Over the month, it's pretty much held if you look at the beginning of the month and where it is now, it's pretty much where it is. So if you put all your money into LITECOIN, you're probably in a very good, stable position. So if you had $1 million at the beginning of the month, moved, sold everything, put it into LITECOIN, you're pretty much where you were. But I mean, this is speculation. How are you meant to make these calls? I mean, Webbot has predicted that LITECOIN's going to really take off in August, September, and October. But again, it's all just language, and I'm not sitting here saying that it's going to happen. I like to think it would from an investment point of view, so it's worth getting excited about the potential of this language. Well, temporal markers is what they talk about in the Webbot, but even when you look at the market, it has reached to what could be a fairly, you could consider it as a bottom. Even the last few days for a couple of cryptos like Digibot's gone sideways for 2 days. It was pretty much the first time it's done that for 45 days. It doesn't mean it's going to go lower. I mean, it probably could. A lot of speculation over the next 14 days. I think there's going to be some people who are going to sell. I think some people are preparing, getting their money together to take advantage of those that are going to sell out. So what you may find, this is a possibility, is another retracement of some sort over the next 14 days, with even maybe a flash crash of some sort before the 1st of August. Could be the day before, it could be tomorrow, it could be, I mean, we're looking at Bitcoin has almost, and it did get down, I think, on the exchanges, even though it doesn't show it here on the Gecko, it did actually get down below 2,000 US, even if it was just for a glimpse. I mean, it did happen, there were trades. I saw them there, 1975 and things like that. However, it's bounced back a little bit, and we're hovering in that $100 bracket around the 2,000 US Bitcoin mark. So will it go down to 1,400 like some experts are sort of claiming? But what's expert in Bitcoin? I don't know if that's actually possible. This is all very, very new to pretty much everyone. I mean, you can use some of the traditional methods in trying to ascertain what's going to happen with Fibonacci levels and things like that, but and I think that does apply, but a lot of it is speculation, and it's always speculation. We've had the massive downtrend, and I think, well, like I said, we're going to see maybe it goes sideways for a week, which would be nice, would be a bit of a relief. Good time to probably maybe buy a little bit more, be prepared that it might drop down a little bit more. Even over the next 14 days, it could go beyond that. What happens after August 1st? I'm not a psychic. I feel that we may see a bit of a turnaround over the next 14 days. But what will I expect? Maybe a couple of ebbs and flows, maybe a flash crash with Bitcoin. So someone with a big amount of money decides that they're going to take it out, and it actually affects the market a little bit for a moment. Could be just a day, which will affect everyone. It might even cause a domino effect for a 24-hour period or a 2-day period. And then what's going to happen is we're going to hit pretty much the rock bottom. And whenever we get right down the bottom, I think you'll see a really, really aggressive insurgence of new money, or as people just buy back in, and it's all about confidence, and that's what this is all about. And I think people will jump on the opportunity to get something at a really good price, and then if August, September and October goes to plan, you may find that the next 2 weeks were pretty much the lowest prices that you could get. There is no real magic formula of finding the lowest point. You've got to sort of take a bit of a punt, and like I said, maybe just spread out your capital into your bids and try to get an average, which is pretty much at the lowest, and then from there, move forward to 2018. But that's all I wanted to sort of share with you on that. I think it's 50-50 at the moment. I'm sort of just watching with excitement and a little bit of angst as I watch my portfolio drop, but I'm pretty much over that. I've got used to the last 45 days as a retracement, and in a lot of ways I'm sort of feeling good about it because I can put a little bit of money aside and maybe improve my positions at a more genuine low than what I may have thought was low 15 days ago. But be prepared that it could go a little bit further. I mean, this is not financial advice, this is just me sharing how I feel about it. Going on to EOS, I am just interested in EOS only because it's so unique in the sense that it's got a 350-day ICO. I mean, no one else has done that. Pillar Project had their ICO yesterday. I think it's still running, runs for 60 hours. I got in after 20 minutes of the website going down. I was right there on the minute, about to get the details so I could contribute, and then the website went down and I was refreshing, and it took literally 19 minutes or something for me to actually get through to the payment page. But I did get a fairly good allotment of Pillar Project. Regardless of what people think, I think the concept of it is something I'd like to support, and it's it's just part of the whole blockchain excitement in regards to these apps and applications and potential. So if you're not in, that's okay. You've still got an opportunity. You don't have to buy. It's just something I was watching and I'm interested in. But getting back to EOS, so we're into period 16 now. What I have noticed with EOS, even though we've had this massive retracement, it hasn't affected the overall price. I'm just going to refresh this page. Hasn't affected the overall contributions on any specific window too much. Now, it's easy to fall in for the trap here. You go 16 hours, it's only 11 cents. But what's happening is someone or entities or the collective are definitely putting in their money in the last 30 minutes. That's what I'm finding. So you might see it at $1. You think, wow, that's amazing, and you jump in, and within the next 30 minutes, someone goes and throws $1 million on it or something, and it's boosted up. But the good news here is that we're into window 15 or period 15, and we had a $1.20 US approximate, and that's the second lowest it's been. So since the first 5 days, I think it got to an average of about 85 US. And now yesterday was 120, and everything else has been hovering about 150 up to $2. In the first week, it was obviously a little bit higher. On the exchange, it even got up to about $6-7. It's come down under 2, and is pretty much hovering around the 160. So what you may find is that today will be really interesting. It will today, regardless of what's been happening in the last few days. There was a little bit of a retracement yesterday, which is normal for a Friday and Saturday. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. What I'm sort of seeing, especially in the last month with this retracement, is that Friday, this is Australian time, so Friday night coming back over to around about 10 a.m. Australian time, and I've noticed this probably happened 3 times, so as a pattern. Around about 10 a.m. we hit a little bit of a bottom. So, and everything's in the red. So the market has it's not necessarily a crash, it was just a lot of money goes out for the weekend. About 10 a.m. Australian time, we seem to hit a bottom, and then it recovers. Now, I wonder if I can bring this up. I'll just click a couple of 24 hours here. Is it working? Oh, it's frozen. May have frozen on me. No, it's working. Yes, I just clicked it too many times. It's not the best application I found on the internet, but it's a little bit slow. Maybe I just got too excited with it there. But anyway, what I'm looking, if we look at Bitcoin here, even though it's having a hernia, you can see this little moment here. This is Saturday. This represents Saturday. So 4 p.m. in the afternoon. A lot of the graphs show this little, obviously, retracement over the 24-hour period, and then there's a little bit of a bounce back. I've seen that happen pretty much 3 weekends in a row. What I have found that this Sunday has been the first time where it's sort of gone horizontal for a certain time. Oh, there we go. Didn't like it, did it? I'll kill it. Maybe I'll just bring it back. See if I can bring it back. Oh, the powers of internet. It's always live TV and things go wrong, but it's worked out here. You can see these little dips, very much fairly normal for the retracements, and it's this one here. But again, this is ebbs and flows, and there's no doubt that this is all part of the trading game. But all I wanted to add there was that you'll probably find that the weekends at the moment, especially during a retracement, tend to bleed a little bit heavier, a little bit more so than, say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Where we see a little bit of a bounce back, so the money comes back in. But that's the ups and downs of the market. So in regards to EOS, maybe in the next week we may see a certain price drop, and there might be a very good average, might get an opportunity to get it at its lowest. I still believe, and it is happening, that there's certain news that's coming out with EOS in regards to their application information for developers, and there's a lot of news coming out on the EOS blog page on Steem. There's a lot of information and lots of little gold nuggets in the Telegram group when you see Dan Laramie in there. I think they even went and they got a whole heap of cabs in London, and they've actually paid for sign writing, and they've done a full EOS decentralise everything on a number of cabs in the UK, which is a little bit left of field in regards to marketing, but all marketing is marketing, so it's definitely happening. I should actually see if I can bring that up. Let's see if it comes up. EOS taxis, maybe not. If I get lucky. I don't use Google. I tend to use a different one called DuckDuck. Lots of cars, maybe not. EOS crypto taxis, London. How about that? Then I won't hold up too much of your time. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, and maybe not. I should have taken a screenshot. Anyway, that's what the cabs look like in London, and there's some EOS ones, and I've seen them. They're blue, and they've got the logo on it, which is all good and well. That's all I had for you. Nothing too much. Don't panic too much. Get your money ready. I feel probably US dollars ready to buy some Bitcoin, maybe at a really cheap price. At 2,000 US, that's still pretty good. You may put that aside and get ready for maybe, like I said, a flash crash, or even maybe a bit more of a dip over the next 14 days. And as an investor and as someone who's really finding this whole space really exciting, let's hope that August, September, October, leading into 2018 is the next wave. That's all we really want, and I think that from that point of view, maybe we are at a bottom. Bottom? Could there be a second bottom? Possible. But keep your eye on the game. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your weekend, and tune in to my next video. Thanks, guys.